vtip nebo ne?
Asi jo.
Jdem na tohle. Tak výrazně líp. Já. To z té konzole. To fungovalo bez problémů, úplně v pohodě. Ty musím mít tady ten kabel. To jsem myslel.
I sing hallelujah. You are an angel, the shape of my mind. When I fell down, you were there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. When God takes you back, sing hallelujah. You're home. Fluff the pillows, make the bed, stack the chairs, folded your nightgowns neatly in bed. John said he tried the covers spent on my cheek and wiped a tear from the side of my face. Now that I see the world as you did, was right up like with love is a life that's been lived. So I sing hallelujah. You are an angel in the shape of my mind. When I fell down, you were there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. When God takes you back, sing hallelujah.
Můžeš please...
Jít tam k té kameře.
Ne, k téhle. A chodí ten stream s tou kamerou? Jo. Z toho mikrofonu, že jo, když mluvím, nebo takhle zkusit jako mluvit. A budu to muset podle toho jakože se řídit nějakým způsobem. Čau. A když takhle budu mluvit, tak jaký bude ten výstup? Je tam zpoždění. Okay. Já budu do toho takhle mluvit a uvidíme. Zkusím to teďko, to vypadat. You? co teďko? To je lepší, co? Ještě zvýšíme. Trochu, čekej. To problém není, to můžeme klidně. Jo. Tak. Ještě bych to trošku zvýšil, co?
Už je to lepší.
Co takhle, jo? To je to pohodě.
No, je to v pohodě.
Jo. Takže
Předtím.
Dobrý. Tak, já musím vypadnout pevnou, tak. Vidíme, co to udělá. To je lepší, takovou to nechápu.
Bude tak úplně stejně i ten druhý.
Co říkáš?
Bude i takhle ten druhý úplně stejně. Dvakrát.
Jo. Bude, ještě zkusím druhý. Oni jsou úplně stejně nastavení, takže by to mělo jít bez problému. A tenhle nastavený úplně stejně. A možná má trošku jinou
To nakroutilo kde vůbec.
Tam jsem to nakroutil na tom mixáku, tak tam je ty první dva, ty jsou mikrofony. A
Nebo tyhle ty.
jo, jo. Co ten první stream se vysyká? Rozum nejde určitě, všechno se sekáš. Tak tam jak to brutálně dává.
Nejde těma moc jako produškama, nebo relikcema.
Ne, protože tady to je ten.
Jo.
Teď to budeme vytočit. Zatím.
To rozhlasuje. To taky se očeho, tohle? Tak nějakou nebo
Jo.
to který?
Jo.
To jsou ty nabitý.
Ano. Počkej. Jedna z nich je nabitá.
Aha.
No to je úplně kill. Počítě celý kill. Podívej na to YouTube.
Moc to nedává.
Ani ta síťovka jako. dobře kily počítač.
Technicky jako no tak dva DJové na 3 notíky.
Ano. Jo, je tam. Aha.
Ještě raz.
Hele jo, to máte já budu muset jako zvednout, jak je to dlouhý. Jakoby ne, ale na kolik pánů je to za to docela Jakoby jako prší to tady.
Zavřeme to prosím.
My ze 6 letých.
Jak Lukáš posílal nový design, to vypadá ten nějaký školy. Jakoby ne, ale na kolik pánů je to
Ze 6 letých.
Lukáš posílal nový design.
Dneska tam mám ještě nějaký
Dozná tomu.
Jak to má? Ty. Teď ne ještě. Ale ještě ten rozdíl neuvidím a takhle bych to nechal. Tak. Ty. Teď ne ještě. Ale ještě ten rozdíl neuvidím a takhle bych to nechal. Jo, všechno, ať mám tak. Co nabít? Ten link tam máš, viď? No tenhle tohle streamu.
Jo. Tohle teda můžu odpojit.
Jo. Ještě nás to ještě rychle nepřijmu, to nás to editovat.
Tak to můžu udělat asi já? Třeba.
Jo, že mě to tam moc nejde.
Co chceš tady na to?
Na tom druhém, no. Jestli můžeš editovat ten název, na to.
No. Jako ty
Tam není tam kam 2 asi.
Tam nechceš, ne?
Ne.
Safari.
Už to je dám? Jo.
No.
Tam není tam kam 2 asi. Nebo ještě...
Jo, už je tam.
Co je předu s tím, koukám do háje.
Tak teďka běží jenom jeden, teda stream, a to je tamhle to.
Jo, to běží jenom jeden, no. Tady ten počítač to nedával, no.
Jo.
Jsme to minule dělali na 15, na té 15 to jakž tak šlo. A na téhle 13 to vůbec nejde, jako. To je...
Jsi malý větroni. Takže teda to běží jenom tamhle na ty tyčový generátory. OK.
Sorry.
Potřebuješ ty stafle nahoře ještě, nebo už ne?
Ne.
Takže můžu jim říct, ať
Můžeš, no, to jsem možná mohl napsat.
Tady máme tu prezentaci.
Tak to normálně na krku může běžet jakoby příště třeba jenom na ní, ne?
Může no. Může úplně bez problémů, no.
A mě hlavně o to, aby tenhle ten zdroj měl prostě internet.
Jo, přesně, a zvuk.
Jo,
Si to ještě můžeš počekovat, please. Ano. Jo, prosím tě můžeš, jo.
Tohle?
Jo.
Okay. Tak to normálně na krku může běžet jakoby příště třeba jenom na ní, ne?
Může no. Může úplně bez problémů.
Mě hlavně o to, aby tenhle ten zdroj měl je doba.
No, poslej Slack aktuálně. To ještě do té naší. Jo, to byla docela.
Musím to nedostat. Tohle.
Většíme, jak je to široký. Dobře. Ano. To je dobrý. Jo, yes.
To tam?
To tam. Takže nabití baterky, ale můžeš ještě si doběhnout do té baterie. Na věci, že něco tam bylo. Čau. Jsou nabitý, jo. Tady mi vždycky nabitý baterky a podle s tím tak jsou ty čárky, jo. Dělá boom.
Já si to nevím.
něco, jo. To slyšeli, pohodě.
Si nebudou lidi povídat.
Nebudou povídat. Ale kde je ta prezentace, si to?
To nevím.
Já nevím, ještě musel fungovat Slack.
Zaplý?
Jo, je.
Nebo je?
Beru, jo. Mám tu presku domů. Poslal link. Jo, tady jsme
Chceš to nazdílet?
Jo, ideálně, prosím. Teď hodím tohle.
To máš nazdílet.
Tady jo. Yes, tady máš. Nice.
Doufám, že jsou nabití.
Hello everybody. Hello. Hello. Great seeing you. Good to see the whole crowd here. Good to see you over there as well, all over the world, or in Brno, wherever you are. I'm happy that we got together again and we have a lot of exciting news and announcements that we'd like to make. So I guess without further ado, we'll just get into it because it's a lot of stuff and I would like to get through it as soon as possible. And just to prep you for what's going to come, we'll have a lot of people speaking here. We also have some guests today, and that's something that I would like to start today, but then going forward, keep doing more and more. So today it's starting and we'll have some really interesting people share interesting things with us. So first thing first, there is something really important that I would like to talk about Okay, now we are on the same page.
It's already a tradition.
I know that we had to get rid. It was not an accident. It was just prepared. There is an update in terms of marketing, and I would like to invite Martin here, Mr. Chambers, to join me. I have prepared. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hello, everybody. Good. Yeah. So, you want me to start?
Please.
Okay, so we have a couple of new things in marketing. So, in the past few months, we explored and we were trying to find new ways how to promote STRV as a company in different channels. In the last 6 months, we tried almost everything that is out there. We tried social campaigns, PPC campaigns, Google campaigns, big campaigns, and all of that. And we invested quite a lot of money in that. What's good about it is that we learned a lot. Thank you. So we learned a lot, and we found a couple of channels that are bringing some conversions to us. It's like 3 or 4 of them. What is the downside of that is that, like all the others, we find not really effective at this moment for STR. So what we are going to focus on, or what marketing is going to focus on, is to develop these 3 or 4 channels. Mainly, it's AdWords campaigns where you are bidding on the keywords on Bing and Google. That is bringing some conversions to us. Then mailing campaigns, nurturing campaigns. Then it is third-party referral sites such as Clutch, Manifest, and so on, which are very easy to maintain. That is good. And maybe some social campaigns towards from that. What's your update on it? Good. So that's a good news. Unfortunately, this is not really my area of expertise to develop these specific channels. So me and Hugo agreed on that this is going to be my last month in the company, and he will take over with the actual team, with the marketing team, to develop these channels and develop these activities, so it will be super effective for STR. So that's the main update for marketing probably. So I'm really sorry that I'm not going to be seeing you for I don't know how much time, but like probably not very soon. So yeah, do you want to add something on that?
I'd love to add a couple of things. First, I wanted to say that I'm extremely thankful for where you have moved, what we have tested over the past 6 months, and I wanted to say that although it's like we are taking different routes, that we appreciate everything that you have done for STR, being for some time with us. And, there is some great results also. So I wanted to say that I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, I also wanted to wish you all the best going forward, and hopefully you will find a place where you can leverage all of your B2C experience that you have gained in your previous career way better than in our B2B, very specific kind of business. And from my side, I wanted to say that I'm really excited that we have now the marketing team fully set up, and for the next couple of months, I'll be the one driving all the marketing efforts. because I want to experience it firsthand to be able to best assess what to do afterwards. So I'll be in charge of marketing going forward. And also I wanted to mention one thing that we did not really announce to the entire team, and that's what happened with Milan, right? You still see him? Where the fuck is Milan? And Milan is a great guy. I love him. He's super smart, creative. It's not just, but he's just not the person that we would be able to leverage in the full-time capacity at the current stage of the company. So he's become our advisor when we need him. So you'll still see him sometimes in the office here and there. And hopefully we'll be able to see you, Martin, also here and there. You will come to see us and join us for some parties. And once again, I would like to thank you so much for everything. Yeah, sorry. One more thing. I want to thank to my team as well. So they are really amazing. Hope that they will be a big help for you. Thank you for the bravery to explore all the options out there. And thank you all guys for being amazing colleagues. All right. Next. Before we actually move into the regular updates about how STRB is doing, I wanted to briefly, not so briefly, talk about STRB Labs and what we're doing there. As David, Pavel, and Martin are pretty much full-time focusing on Kindness and taking that company off the ground. We figured that there is a bit more structure needed in terms of our STRB Labs projects, and I would like to give you a sneak peek of what has changed and what are the projects that we are working on right now and how that's gonna go forward. So I have 3 projects that I'd like to show you. Some of them are gonna be familiar for you. Some of them are gonna be totally new. So hopefully you'll be able to see something that you like. So the first project that I would like to talk about is actually our former client, FlickFlix, and the name of the CEO is Bill. And Bill has built a product that's basically a movie recommendation service that's been recognized by, for example, Apple. They have shared a lot of interest in the product, and it's right now on iOS and Apple TV. Thomas is managing it on our end. We have a team of, I believe, 3 or 4 people working on that full time. And the goal is to basically improve the iOS and Apple TV experience, and also introduce Android app, and basically help this company to go all the way to raise the first round of financing. So this is one of the key pillars right now that I see as part of STRB Labs. I guess a couple of weeks back, we have published a press release that was very well adopted by the media, that you can now also buy tickets to the movies on Apple TV through FlickFlix and so on and so on. And there's a lot of stuff in terms of the feature set. And like with every single project that we do as part of STRB Labs, I don't want to be the one presenting it. And you will see that this is a starting point, right? I don't want to be presenting the project that I'm not working on. So with all other projects, I would actually like to get to the people that are actually more involved in these projects. So the next one that I would like to talk about is Beep and Sleep, and it's a project that we are doing with Kiwi.com. Oliver the CEO of Kiwi approached me that he had this idea, and then we agreed that we'll do it together. So that's what we are working on. Actually, I don't want to be talking on the project because I don't know it that well. I know the basics, but I'd like to invite Yusra, who is managing it on our end, to tell you more about what the project is about.
Well, thank you, Google, for the intro. As Google mentioned, Beep and Sleep is a new concept that we're working on together with Kiwi. And the idea is that basically we want to allow people to rent apartments with a cost that is lower than the average cost in the area where the apartment is, and give them full control over what they are paying for. So imagine a smart apartment where you have a smart door, you have a smart TV, you have a smart shower, you have a smart plugs that are basically controlling or tracking the consumption for every equipment that is connected to them. And when you get to that apartment, or like when you book the apartment, you have a link that allows you to claim your booking and get access to the place without talking to anyone, without going through any boring check-in process or check-out process. And when you get to the apartment and you're standing at the door, you can, with a button click, get access to the apartment. The minute you get access to the apartment, you are able to actually turn on the equipment that you want to use. And while you are using them, you are literally only being charged for the amount of time of each equipment that you are using. Genius, right? So who's working on this on our side? I just want to give a big shout out to our team. That's Kaya, who's working on the back end. And we have David on the front end. And Adriana trying to break the application as much as she can on the QA. We've had great support from the design team. Our current designer is Tomasz. So, not to take too much time, this is how the application looks like, and please stay tuned for more updates from us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yusra. I appreciate it. I feel it's way better when someone actually who knows the product is talking about it. So the next one is life penalty, and you might have heard about life penalty. Been talking about that project for quite a while, and I could now invite Kuba Vodak, who is actually in charge on our side. But I figured it would be interesting if we go even a little further, and we invite Pavel Kacerle here, who is actually in charge of the entire project as a CEO. So, Pavel, if you can come on stage and take my mic. You will be able to explain us the best what's behind life penalty, what you are trying to achieve, and then we have a little sneak peek of what the product is about as a video.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to show you the concept video. So life penalty is simply it's going to be an app that is connecting you as a soccer fans with real and physical locations such as stadiums and real human goalkeepers. So the whole idea is that you can control a physical soccer launcher that is sending a real soccer balls against a real soccer goalkeeper at the stadium, let's say in London or Barcelona, around London. So we created an elimination game, so it's a multiplayer game, so you can literally come on board in multiplayer and play, and as you're progressing in the elimination game, you're getting higher and higher chance to be a winner and then play one-on-one against the goalkeeper. We're currently in one accelerator called League, which is an accelerator from Adidas, and we're going to be presenting this idea to them on 2nd of July, which is quite important. We're also talking to Manchester City and Chelsea about the first brand activations that could happen the next season. So, and STRE is obviously developing the app for it. So that's where we are right now. Another thing is that that's the brand activation kind of part of the app. We have another two called Free to Play, which is something like the HQ Trivia up in the soccer world. And then we have another one called Betting. So these both are very interesting for the clubs. And we're going to be building a TV studio here in Czech Republic. And so again, the fans all around the world will be able to connect with the studio and play against the goalkeepers that we're going to bring from different places around the world. So I think we can show them the concept.
Can we play?
Play live against human goalkeepers, shoot real soccer balls, connect with friends, create your own leagues and teams, experience true emotions and victories. Choose your target and challenge other players live. Score against the goalkeeper, win cash or other prizes. Explore exclusive promotions and special events. Gamers from around the world on one stage at the same time. Smashbuster.
SDRB.
So you have probably seen most of you Pavel here at some point during our fireside chat that we had with TechCrunch quite recently, and it's amazing that we have a chance to do something together. And I have to say that we've been talking about this project for about a year now.
It's going to be more actually. I started talking to David almost 2 years ago.
So we've been talking about the project a long time ago, and what assures me that there is a big potential is seeing Pavel and his team to actually go and execute and test and build the product and have a machine that can shoot balls and connect it with different kind of technologies and hack it so you can use live streaming on YouTube to actually have a simple proof of concept before we go ahead and we build the entire product. And seeing this over the course of the last year was extremely helpful to be convinced that this is something that STRB should back and this is something that we all should back, right? Because we want to make sure that the projects that we are working on have the highest possible chance to succeed.
I agree with you.
And I know that there is a lot of people that are around life penalty that are also part of our network, so there is a mutual connection, right? So maybe
Yes,
you can also mention that, because there's a lot of people that
You don't think Vicky or?
both Vicky and Razmik.
Yeah, they are both incredible people, and I met them in California, where I still partially live. And in San Francisco, they're extremely talented, and Vicky is basically a daughter of a woman that is well known, especially in South America, and she's a great soccer agent with a long history from Argentina. And Razmik is a board member of Rakuten, which is the general sponsor of Barcelona. So he's a huge supporter of Life Now. He's a huge soccer fan.
And just to put it all together, he's the CEO of Hoodline, and Hoodline is our
Yes.
client.
Okay.
And Vicky is the CEO of Gloria, and we have done an MVP or a product concept for Gloria for soccer apps. So that's how it all connects together. Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, we are setting really high standards, and how you heard from the CEO of the company. And I realized that I kind of like that.
Goalkeepers, shoot real soccer
I
balls.
like the video. You can look at it again. I'll act like nothing happened. I kind of like that. If we do a certain project and we participate on it, not fully, that we don't build it ourselves, and we pretty much agreed with Pavel, David, Martin, that we are not able to do multiple things, right? I run STRB and I can't do anything else. Pavel, Martin, David, They all do kindness, right? So they can't do. It's hard to build a company. They can't do anything else, right? And now we had Pavel as the CEO of Life Penalty to share with us what it's about and what's the vision and how it's going to go forward. And we figured that every project or product should have a CEO, right? And we also have a pretty successful portfolio of dating apps, Surge, Zoe, and Grizzly, and it's been around for quite a long time, but we did not have that sharp focus. Is Jeremy here? He likes the way how I pronounce focus. To actually move somewhere with the product, and right now it's actually the time to change that, because we would like to announce that Surge as an entity that basically operates all these free dating apps now has a new leadership team. That means that there is a new CEO, and I would like to invite Kuba Howard to actually join me on stage and tell us a bit more about the dating app area.
Hello, I guess you probably know all the apps, and I just wanted to briefly show you what we are going to do in the next few months. And because I have outstanding drawing skills, I decided to draw it. This next slide. Okay. So, as you might well think, this is a flower. So there's a huge potential to grow. You see it in the data. It's even better. So we decided to add more great people into the team. I think it's four new people. Backend developers, front-end developer, Android and iOS developers, and a product manager. And what we are going to do, we are going to research things. We will be asking people why they are using the app, where, how, etc. We will also be looking into the data, and we will do experiments. So yeah, that's experiment. We want to do roughly 50 to 200 experiments this year in marketing or in the product features. And this means by the end of this year, we should have either or ideally both happier users and more money. That's basically Thank you.
An amazing plan. I think I should draw something like that for STRB. It's really straightforward. I think even a little kid would understand what's going on there. Great job. I'm excited that we have you fully committed to the dating apps, and I can't wait to see how it's going to go in the future. All right. So now that was the unusual start, but I'd like to get back to the usual and mention a couple of things about how we are doing, right? And I will start with something that is very positive. STRB has been around, or at least the way how we dated, all the way back to 2004, which is 15 years. That's probably when David got his trade license and started building some little projects here and there. And it goes all the way there. And since 2004, we have seen every single year continuous growth in terms of the revenues. And just this past month, we had the highest revenue in the history ever, which is amazing. the positive. But with the highest revenue, what we have also noticed that we have the highest costs. And that makes a really interesting challenge for me, because we are that's the best stage of the company we have ever had in terms of the revenue. Now it's just a matter of how do we go about the costs, right? And to answer that question, I'd like to invite Yarda to tell you our finance and what are the things that we should be focusing on and what are the things that we could improve. So next time I talk about the highest revenue, I can also talk about the highest profit. So Yarda, it's all yours.
Thank you very much. So thank you, Lubo, for introducing finance. I've been working in finance for a couple of years, and I've realized that expressions like high, low, and so forth are simply not enough. We usually use numbers. And that's why I have just prepared a couple of numbers for you. And this is the first one, and we can make, it's not a pop quiz, it's actually an event space quiz, right? So does anyone know what this number stands for? It's 58K. Any other guess?
A door prize for one lucky person.
You are the lucky person, right? No, actually, this is profit we made in the first 5 months. And no, you're not smiling that much, right? I'm not also excited very much. But I managed to share with you also a detail. And I'd like to follow up what Lubo has mentioned. We've got a quite great growth and quite great progress. But what we should refrain are those months where we don't perform that well. And you may see, like, seeing these 5 months, that basically February, March, April, not that strong. January made much better. But in total, 58K is something where I would expect a much higher amount, and hopefully, and according to all the forecasts for June and the following months, it looks much better. And I've got a proof for you. So, any guess? Here?
This month.
Correct. This is actually the forecast of revenue for this month, June. So you see the progress from May 1.3, now 1.4, and hopefully the following month's gonna be, no. This is unfortunately not the forecast for July. I have now one advice. This is amount which doesn't make me happy very much. It's 2 million. It's I don't care very much. It's actually the open balance. This is the amount our clients, they've got it on their bank accounts, but this is the amount which we should have on our bank account. So 2 million, this is the amount they owe us. And you may imagine that while managing business like this, you have seen that we've got monthly cost of around 1.2 million USD. It's a challenge. You know how the system works. You start working in the beginning of June, you're working through the whole June, and we issue the invoice in the beginning of July, and hopefully the client's going to pay at the end of July. It's in total almost 60 days, 2.4 million, and this is the cash we have to have ourselves, and then it's going to be received from our clients. Challenging, but we do some stuff with that. We've got our short-term bank loans overdraft with almost
50 million Czech crowns. Together with Jeremy and Evan, we are working on payment terms. We are also much strict with our cash collection. But these are kind of like short-term solutions. The most important, what we have to do is to build our own cash buffer. Once we're gonna have in current size, let's say 3.6 million on our bank account, then I'm gonna be a happy guy. Until then, I'm going to be nervous and I'm going to be mentioning that cash collection is important. The very last number, and I understand numbers, but you see that there are not dollars, there are no Czech crowns. It's a different unit. It's, I guess, unit at least. This is something that I don't understand. So. These are actually hours. These are hours. And these are the hours which we spend for the internal activities since the beginning of the year. So no clients, no STRV labs, just the internal activities, which is quite a lot. I recalculated it, and it's basically 25 people per month. It's a lot. And you may imagine that rather than the number of hours, I personally see the amount in dollars or Czech crowns, how much it costs the company, and it's a lot. But as it was mentioned already, we are working on that. Germany is bringing new projects, and I personally would be again happy if we reach 1.5 million. Lubo has mentioned with the STRV labs that now they are much better managed with the clear deadlines and the targets, which is something I appreciate. And the last point, you have probably heard that there is a person like who is saying, hey, let's slow down with hiring, let's think if we need more people, either in engineering team or in other overhead departments. Yeah, it's coming from me. I would rather slow down now. I would rather utilize all our internal people, all the team for meaningful projects, and then we can extend the team. Last slide here, finally. So, actually this slide doesn't mean that I found the solution for everything, even though I wish to. Some of you may remember that in the past we had a Slack channel called Ideas, where basically anyone could share ideas for office, for finance, for project management, for sales, basically anything. Apparently we don't have that Slack channel anymore, so I decided, and together with that we have implemented new request in Hy-Vee, which is called Ideas. And this is exactly like the way where you can raise anything like what you suggest should be improved in the company. And I'm going to make sure that this is going to be what's going to be discussed with you. So, Hy-Vee Ideas. That's it. That's it from finance. And I guess there is someone who's going to introduce new projects. Who's that guy?
Yes, please. Next one up is Jeremy Stefan, all the way from Los Angeles, California. Welcome, welcome.
There we go. Thank you very much. Well, the one thing I've come to appreciate about being in STRV is the transparency. So sitting in our C-level meeting today, it was a big discussion. Well, what should we share? Well, we have to share a lot of information that people ask, and it's in the debugger, and everybody wants to know, and everybody should know, because that's where we're able to come together, the best managing company, grow, evolve, and all this. So, in the spirit of the transparency, I apologize for my dress, because this is not how I came to work, but I got stuck in a taxi in an accident after I worked out, and I almost missed this all hands. So, I have my California flip-flops on, my board shorts, so pardon me. So new projects, which one do I hit here? The arrows?
I can do it for you.
Okay.
I'll be your...
You'll be like my assistant?
I will focus.
You'll be like, you're gonna focus. You could be like Vanna White from the TV show Jeopardy, or what is it? Wheel of Fortune, that's what it is. Yeah, but you have to stand and walk across the front of the stage when we talk about the deals. Can you do that?
No.
Okay. So let's talk, there we go, perfect. Let's talk about the first one, Manta. So what you see here is the new U.S. projects, right? And I want to first, call out the sales team members in the U.S. Who are joining us remotely.
They're there.
Where are they? They're right there. We see you. So we've got Kristen, we've got Kelly, we've got TJ, we've got Nahal, and we have Jay. So what we've listed up here are the new projects that have been brought in by each of them since the last all-hands meeting. So it's almost chronological, actually, left to right. So today, Jay let Federer and I know that Manta has approved the project to move forward, and Kristen had closed security. And then 15 seconds of fame, CapTech right wheel, CTC arm, Vega, IFI glide and transfer, and I'm happy to go into a little bit about each of these if you all want to know. And if you don't want to know, we can go to the next slide. That's okay too. So it's up to you all. But I also wanted to, so we're not going to talk about each one. You will make decisions. In his hand. So thank you, Lubo. Now I'm confused. Now we're going backwards.
After you.
That's okay. So, and I also wanted to attach each of the individual salespeople to the project so you know who's leading these and bringing them in. But also, these deals are closed with the support of the delivery team partners and all the platform leads and all the other engineers and designers that are supporting the process. So it's just not them, but it's everybody here as an entire team. So we thank you and we appreciate all the support in helping to bring in the new projects. So let's go to the next slide, Vanna. And we have, in addition to new projects, I wanted to call out some of the renewals, which have happened over the last 30, 60 days. Hey Baby had gone from a strategy and a design session, and we just moved into development and kicked off this week. And OpKicks has fired their other team and has hired us solely to do all the engineering for them. Aramis, we have an upscale there, and MedMen, had a number of engineers, they downscaled, and now they've reorganized, and now we've upscaled again, which is great. They're the leading cannabis brand in the United States. We've got Athletic that upscaled, and Sage, which I know Lubo closed maybe 2 years ago, and had a bunch of money sitting in the bank from them because they prepaid, so thank you, Sage. And now we're actually starting to do work with them. So we're in a definition and a strategy phase to get that into design and development. And I know Felipe and Nahal are working hard on making that happen. And so these are the renewals, but outside of what you don't see here, there's also clients that have been with us for a while, like LegalZoom and Passant and a number of others that the money just keeps coming in and the work keeps going out. So we didn't list them here because they're not renewing that right now, they're not new, but they are part of the backbone of the company and giving us that foundation as well. So next slide, Vanna. Okay. And to help Yarda, achieve the $1.5 million goal in new deals or $1.4 million in revenue for June and even more beyond June, I want to list here some clients that we're working on renewals and our new clients that we're targeting very hard in finalizing before the end of June. So with these being finalized, their advance payments plus the other projects that are paying, we should have, fingers crossed everybody, that we have another record month in June, which is great because it starts to give us momentum into July and August and helps give us a great run towards the second half of the year, which is really important about the June, July month. So I know the team is working very hard at making sure that these come in, and not just them, but we also have a number of others in the pipeline that we're working as well. So, those are the June close targets. And next slide, Vanna. I believe we have the EU project. So I'm going to give a shout out to Kuba, Plash, and Darko. These are two new projects that they've closed, Intelligence Hub and Bridger. They're in the discovery into the strategies phases right now. which then they should be moving into design and development very shortly. So great job on those two. And then the third one is a company called Oriflame, I believe, and it's one of the largest cosmetics brands in Europe. Obviously, I don't wear makeup, so I'm not really sure that's how you say them, but is that how we say them? Oriflame? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, perfect, right there, Oriflame. So Kuba's working very hard on closing Oriflame right now, which, fingers crossed again, should be a big ongoing project as well, and I know he's very excited about it. So I believe that's the last slide, unless you slipped one in on me that might have me an address or something. No, okay, perfect. Well, thank you everyone. Thank you everybody.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. No Easter egg this time, but next time we'll be ready for sure. All right, getting to some really serious stuff right here. We have answered a lot of things that we have seen in the debugger, but I just picked four, that I wanted to talk about here because I feel that they are very crucial, and I would like to make sure that you hear it from me directly. What are the reasons that we are doing things a certain way? And also, yeah, there is gonna be the option in Hive to share ideas, but we have also an open door policy, and if you feel like something is wrong, then I will be extremely happy if you raise that, and you don't have to wait for another debugger to say something, right? Talk to your team leads, talk to your manager, talk to anybody. Like, we all have open door policy, but it's always good to follow sort of and make sure that like, even I would be totally comfortable if you talk to me and if you share with me your feedback, and I would love to hear about it. But I now have 4 topics that I'd like to cover here and that I feel are pretty important especially for the collaboration that we do on the project. So I'll just get right into it. The first one is what I call 38-2 rule, and that's something that we have addressed in the response to the STRB debugger in the presentation as well as in the article. And it's that a lot of you asked about internal activities and how to track them, and something is getting paid, something is not, right? We do a lot of things extra and so on and so on. And I just wanted to have a simple guideline that, for me, it's important that we have the guidelines set in a way that I don't expect, just by the definition, anyone to work crazy overtime, right? In some cases it's needed, in some cases it's not. But of course we need to do some things internally as the basis, right? On the design and engineering team, you have team meetings every week, right? And it's at least 1 hour. You probably do some other activity, and that's why we account with this 38 plus 2 hours rule, that we expect if someone is on a client project or labs project or working for Surge, we expect that there is going to be 38 hours towards that project at least. And if not, of course, like if you take vacation, that's fine. If there is something else that is important, then it's important that you raise that. But there is a lot of internal activities that you can participate in, right? We do the nights, we do we have a lot of people helping with recruitment and so on and so on. For the most part, we want to do all of that from the internal resources, right? They're available, the people that are not on projects right now and so on. So it's not always possible, and we really appreciate that you put the extra work in, and that's something that we look at, and I will get to that in my second point. This is the rule that I'd like you to keep in mind, that like I don't expect that by the definition there should be an overtime. But on the other hand, I want to make sure that when we have a client project, right, that there is no 10 hours spent on internal stuff versus, the client is not getting the value. Because in the end, that's why the clients hire us, right? And they want to see that there is a velocity in terms of design and in terms of development and so on. So that's the first thing. Then I will jump right to this one because I think it's very related, and it's that we have noticed and realized that a lot of people, they don't track overtime, and it's extremely important for us to know that there is overtime needed because that's the only way how we can do something about it. And I'm coming back to what I said previously. It's not in our intention to have situations where you have to work continuously overtime because that's just what the project needs, right? If that's the case, then we need to know that and we need to address it because maybe there should be more resources or maybe it's not structured in a proper way. And of course, like in some cases it's needed and like it goes even beyond, right? And we are restructuring the way how we engage with our clients. When the overtime is needed, well, first the client should ask us if we can work overtime and then we approve it, but then we also bill the client for it, right? And if that's the case, and we are actually getting paid for the overtime, then of course we can extend that and pay the overtime to the people that are working on the project. But it's not possible in all the cases, and I have heard reasons why not to track overtime because you would not be getting paid for it. But if we don't see it, we can't do anything about it, right? So that's a big ask from my side that if you continuously need to work overtime and you don't track it, you are just against yourself. Because like in the end, the project and project managers, they don't see it, they can't really do anything. They can't really do anything. And from here, right, I want to be very honest. I can't guarantee you that if you track overtime that it's going to get paid for. By the definition, that's not true. But if you do that, then we at least have a chance to do something with it. And first thing that we can do with it, we can figure out a better setup with the client so you don't have to work overtime and you can actually have some free time and enjoy your life. Or, if that's not the case, and the overtime is really needed, then we want to make sure that we get that paid, right? So it's just a huge ask from my side that if you were thinking about tracking that differently, that's something that I would love you to think about. That, because if we don't see it, we can't really do anything with it. And it seems like, I'm looking at you, Sra, it seems like she agrees with me.
What about Jimmy? Does Jimmy agree?
Of course.
Jimmy also agrees. This part is really heavy, so I apologize, but and I will probably split it if I will be doing it again. But the other thing I wanted to make it very clear, I'm pretty sure that all of you know, but the way how our business is set up, that we are here in Prague, and we work for the clients that are in the US, mostly in California, across the Atlantic Ocean. In most of the cases, 9 hours time difference, right? And it gets quite challenging because of the time zone difference. And I will explain you why I'm bringing this up. Oftentimes when we start talking to a client, they ask us, "What's your time zone overlap?" Right? And we simply don't have an answer to it because we have never set up anything. It was just, yeah, we are flexible. We'll always make it work, and you know that we will make it work. It's working in all the projects, right? But we just need to have an answer for the clients. And the answer for the clients that we have landed on is that our standard overlap is anything before 10 a.m. Pacific, which means until 7 p.m. here. That's our overlap. And that's the baseline. by that, I don't expect all of you by 6:59 be sitting here in the office every day, single day, all of you. The reason why I'm mentioning it, that we all need to have a common understanding that when we are talking to a new client, this is what we tell them, and this is what we expect in the very beginning, when it comes to setting up stand-ups and so on and so on. Once the cooperation gets off the ground, we can always adjust, right? And there's projects that require daily stand-ups. How early can we do the daily stand-ups? If the cooperation is working, we can negotiate anything. But it makes it extremely difficult when even in the pre-sales process, when we are sort of getting to know each other, we start negotiating about the overlap, and we don't have a clear answer on that. And that's why I wanted to also mention it here, and I wanted to be coming from me directly. I wanted this to be coming from me directly, because I feel it's extremely important for the success of the sales team that when they say something, it's going to get the support of the team here. And I can guarantee you that once the project gets off the ground, nothing will change from what it looks like currently. So that's the time zone overlap. And I know it's a lot, but I have one more super important, really related to the success of our business. And I wanted to be very frank that you might have noticed that there was a shift, dramatic shift, in terms of the snacks in the office. And it's coming from me. I was the one who caused it. And my thinking behind that is that if I can do anything good for us as a team, I think that caring about our health is actually a good thing. But there's always a but. Am I happy with the current state of the snacks that we have in the office? No. So, the 80-20, that means, yeah, I would still like to promote healthy snacks, healthy food, healthy lifestyle, everything in this ratio pretty much. So I'm not gonna fight against every single thing, and I'm gonna make sure that the healthy stuff is good stuff. But I wanted you to hear that it's coming from me. I care, but I also listen. And I had a couple of you I talked to a couple of you, and I got a pretty direct feedback. And and it seems like you are not against the healthy approach. I just feel that we need to work a little more on the variety and what's actually there, what's not there, and how it all works. And I'll be working on that with Deb and Lenka and the office team to make sure that we also make a really good progress on that as we are doing and bringing new projects and so on. Snacks are important. That's all I wanted to say. So I know that it was a little heavy, but I hope that I ended up with a bit lighter topic. And now it's again me talking. I wanted to introduce a new part of our regular stand-up, and it's going to be talking about Brave Humans, and just like giving kudos and shout out to some of the random achievements that I have seen and that the team has seen over the past couple of months. So first I'd like to give kudos to the team that was representing us at the Counter-Strike Go tournament and winning the first place. So if you can. Then I wanted to give kudos to the brave Spartans and the brave Vltava runners. And on top of that, I wanted to give kudos to everyone who has participated on the nights, as well as who is part of the speakers program and travels all over the world to share, to drop some wisdom and share share something about STRV and promote us. It's amazing, and that's one of the initiatives that I will always support. All right, it was enough of me talking for a little bit, and I'd like to invite Lara to introduce new members of the team.
Hi everybody, it's me again. And I came here to present the fruit of labor, or some fruit of labor of my team, and introduce you to our newcomers. But before we get to the names and faces, I have a question for you, real quick, very short. How many people do you think have joined STRV since March? Seven, okay. 23 is the right number. 23 people in just a couple of weeks, and I would like to highlight that this would not be possible with not just my team, but with everything who participates in the recruitment process. So thank you. Thank you so much, everybody who reviews that project, who are doing the technical interviews, everybody who participates in nights, who participates in speaking, in coaching, in mentoring. Thank you, because without you this number would not be reachable. So thanks again. Okay, let's move on. As you can see, iOS department has been particularly fruitful, and I would like to welcome here Gaston, Veronica, Sebastian, Daniel, Jan, Philip, Breno, Peter, and Jaime. Welcome! Has also been doing hard work, so Sebastian, Juan, Otavio, Galen, we're so happy to have you here. From the team, we have Lucas, and Julian. The literary team has not been growing as well. So Thomas and Rodolfo. I'm particularly proud that the design team is growing as well, and we have new additions, Thomas and Roman. And last but not least, we have Barbara from QA, we have Tomasz, the new IT support, and Jan and marketing team.
That was quick, I apologize. I apologize. I was preparing for my next appearance. I'm back. Also, the regular part of the events is to appreciate all the people that have been with the company for a longer period of time. So let's first look at the group of people that have been with STRV for 3 years. We have them here. We have MJ, Michael Janicek. Michael here? Michael over here. We have Pavel Polacek. If someone is actually here, it would be great if you come up. But then 3 years with STRV. Kuba Batula. little present for you. Hope you enjoy it. All right. Next up, Mira Matsi. All right, Mira. Good job. Representing Brno office, Martin Pucci. We'll be sending the merch to Brno. So, next up, Adam Jeski. Adam could not wait, so he came from Brno for merch. Thank you, Adam. Next up, this entire Brno crew. Tomasz Czeka. And then we have Lukáš Tesař. And I have seen Lukáš today. Thank you so much, Lukáš. The last, but definitely not the least, who is celebrating the 3-year anniversary with STIV is Kaya. Thank you so much, Kaya. So, brave, right? But on the next slide, these people are even more brave. They've been with STIV for 5 years, and they don't know what's waiting for them. But, let's first announce, and then we'll have a look. It's Yardamak here! You are the first one to officially receive the Brave Box. Please don't wait here and don't open it. And then we have Lukáš Herman. Lukáš, congratulations. Two Brave Boxes. Third one, Mr. Garba. We are saying hi to Mr. Garba somewhere in Asia. The box is waiting here. And then we have Roman Bogoci. Is also not here, but these guys are gonna regret they did not show up. Because right now, you actually may open the boxes. It's a big reveal. Welcome to the Brave world. There is a new piece of merch that is fresh, arrived today. And it's this. The 5-year anniversary hoodie. I'd like to give kudos to marketing and design team to put that together. This is how it looks. It has It has a couple of special features. First, it's personalized, so you can see the initials on the very bottom of the hoodie. When you turn around, it's the brave human inside. And then there is also a special message inside the hoodie that you will see later. All right, so for all of you that have already celebrated some of your anniversaries, and the next anniversary is like far, far away, it's like, and you are like, what the fuck? Where's my merch, right? And we realized that, and we're gonna fix that. So if you have already celebrated your 3-year or 5-year anniversary, you are also eligible to get some cool stuff. And you can actually go to talk to Clara and redeem the merch, because it's now all ready. And I know that this is long, but it was fun. And pretty much last announcement, and I wanted to say that on the next All Hands meeting, we would like to focus hardcore on design and engineering and what's happening in that huge, badass department that is defining the company. And I wanted to say hi to all the people that were watching us or will be watching us on YouTube. And I wanted to say hi also to the people that we have all over the world. They are a big part of the team right now. So we can't wait to have you here in the office and see you around. And hopefully you'll be here soon. So thank you so much. And that pretty much concludes everything. And I hope that you have heard some good stuff today. And we'll be back in a couple of months again. And now I wish everybody to enjoy the barbecue and the party that we'll be having shortly on our terrace. And hopefully it's not going to rain.
Okay.
Díky moc.
Jo.
Začal?
Vlastně.
To asi můžeš zabít.
Jo, to nechám takhle dojet. Cool.
Good job, guys. Thanks for setting it up.
Ještě to běží, ještě schodím.
Aby se necítil taky, jako keby možno trochu... Ako sa na to nejako nesťažoval, párkrát to možno tak podpíkol, ale ako vás to chápem.
Potáhne.
Tak to není
Co ten to máš nějaký článk, si myslel?
A nevíš, kde jsou ty Red Bully?
Já jsem vyšel za hlavou, že bychom neskúšali.
Že jsou, tam jsou v tom Dragonu.
Ako ale zameraný na sales, že
Dragon
napríklad
Falcon.
nejaké témy na
Falcon jsou, takže se bojuje tak. Případně jsou spojení tamhle ty místnosti.
Jo,
Jo.
je to tam,
Já jsem tady viděl, dá za chvilka.
Ne, oni jsou ještě ve Falconu. Nejsou až na recepci, anebo jsou tamhle schovaný. Takže, pohodě. Okay.
Jsi stresovaný?
Ale dobrý, už to je za mnou, tak
už ti Martin bejval, že tam kurzor začal, tak rychle napíše mu.
Ty vole. A tak víš co, no, tak jakože Jsem to párkrát dělal, veď?
Jo, jo.
Ale je fakt, že vždycky, když přijde Lubo, tak jako, víš co?
No.
Tak jako stoupne ten tlak.
Já
no.
jsem nějakých 7, 9, 10 let naspátek pracoval pro PG24 a pak Playzone TV a to bylo vždycky ve studiu a já jsem byl ten já jsem co to moderoval a to taky vždycky jako stresový.
Když to je živý vždycky, jo. Přesně, no. To víš, pak už si vychutnávám vždycky, když jsem si to moc neužíval, když jsem jako divák. Víš, že si to potom víc jako užíváš. To je takový ten jako chill a tak a...
Ale já jdu nahoru.
Ale jo. Co vidíme nahoře? Zatím, tady trochu poklidíme a... Okay, tak zavíráme krám?
Co to?
Jo.
Kde ty máš to vůbec?